All right, you guys, we got a jam-packed show today. We're gonna be looking at the newest and heavy equipment out at the iLandscape show in Illinois. And a big thank you goes out to the guys from Martin Implements, because these were the guys that brought me out there to help put this video together for you guys. Now, some of this equipment that we're looking at today, I've never seen before. One of them is called a fin bark blower. And I know some of you guys have had hands-on experience with this. I would love to hear from you guys what you think of it in the comments down below. We're also going to be looking at New Holland skid loaders and Kubota skid loaders and comparing and contrasting between the two. Interesting fact, I broke both of my elbows in my New Holland skid loader, so I'd like to see how they've changed that design to make it a little bit more operator friendly. We're also going to be looking at Toro dingos, Encon tilt rotators, and here's one that I think is really cool, a Hyundai mini excavator. Hyundai mini excavator. Now, the Hyundai brand of heavy equipment, they make massive equipment, these ocean-going vessels. So now they're starting to make micro equipment, really tiny equipment. And the reason I'm so excited about that is it's just there's a lot of bang for your buck. You guys know I'm not big into name brands. I'm more into delivering the most value possible. And so we're going to be looking closely at that and see if that's right for some of you guys. And we're going to launch today's show with the Quattro snowplow. So let's get into this. We've got the Quattro plow. You guys, I ran one of these for, I think, 1 or 2 entire seasons. Man, it looks like they beefed some stuff up on these. Wow. I'm kind of taking this in with you guys right now. Mel, will you grab that for me? I wonder if I had a prototype, because I don't remember the hoses being hid back there. But tell me about the floating frame. What did they change on that?
So you can see it's hinged in here, so it'll allow that whole frame to flex and move. So
okay.
It's not as rigid as before, to let you kind of contour a little more to the ground you're plowing.
So as the skid loader has one angle, the plow has a completely different angle, and it allows you to get a closer bite to the pavement below it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I hope my hand signals like this. I hope that laid everything out good for you guys, right? Let me explain things real well. So this is the magic behind this system. For you guys that don't know about Quattro plows, this is a 2-connection system. Come on over here. I kind of jumped the gun. I automatically assumed everybody knew about Quattro plows. They don't. This entire plow system hooks up right here. 2 hydraulic connections. And what that does is that allows the plow to come up, these wings to move forward with no electrical connections, no other controls needed at all in the cab, none. These 2 wings can come forward and be a containment plow, and then you can, if you want to go up to a garage door and you want to back drag away, you can simply angle the blade, which will automatically kick the wings backwards, and then that allows you to have a completely flat blade. Go up to the garage door, back drag away, and then flip it back over and go right into containment mode. All right, you guys, next, let's jump over to the skid loaders, and we're going to start with the big dog first. That's the New Holland skid loader, and this one is a 94 horsepower unit, meaning it's running DEF. So let's take a look at that right now.
Because everything now, this is the biggest machine New Holland makes.
This is?
The C245. This is brand new this year. It replaces the old C238.
Okay.
Still 90 horsepower. It's got a 4,500 pound operating capacity. So that means at 9,000 pounds, the track starts to come off the ground.
Okay.
So this is a DEF machine. So your DEF tank is here. Fuel filter is here. Your fuel drain, which has a sensor.
Okay.
So if you do get moisture in it, all you gotta do is crack this, put a cup under it.
So it'll tell you inside the cab if you get moisture. That's nice.
Yep.
That's nice.
You know, your DEF fill. They try to make it, once you open up the door, all your servicing is in the ice shop.
All right, you guys, next we're going to be looking at a Kubota, but it's underneath that DEF regulation. So the first thing that you're going to notice is a lot more space in that engine compartment. Let's do this thing. I'm a little more old school, and this, to me, is more comfortable. So when I crack this open, I'm like, Yes.
Yeah.
I like there's the battery. There's everything laid out. This is the way I'm used to seeing things.
You're also kind of comparing apples and hand grenades because that is a 90 horsepower machine.
I was gonna say this has got to be 74.
This is 65.
Okay.
Anything over 75 horse now has to have DEF fluid. So this one does not have DEF. So obviously with the DEF fluid, you have to have room for the tank. That's where things start getting a little crowded in the back.
Yes. Yes.
Where this one, like I said, we don't have DEF. So, but same kind of ideal design is everything is in eye shot when you open up the back door.
Awesome. Awesome. I love this. You also have your fuel tank on the door.
Yes.
All right, so that's one of the things that you guys should look at right here. So when the door is resting on the frame, or when the door is closed, it's resting on the frame, so all the weight of this isn't being jarred on the hinges.
Yes.
Right? So that's an important thing. A lot of companies are putting their fuel tank in the door. This isn't the first time I've seen this now.
No.
Is there a benefit? Is it a space savings to give more room inside the engine?
Back to the emissions controls. You know,
Okay.
even with the 75 horse and lower, you still got to have an emission system. So with the catalytic converters and everything else that they have now, you still need to make room for them.
Okay.
So that's why a lot are going to the back door. Plus, it's counterweight.
Yeah, true. True. All right. Good things from Kubota. All right, you guys, this next one we're looking at is a Hyundai Mini Excavator, and this one's kind of got me excited because it's not a name brand unit, but it kind of is a name brand unit. The Hyundai name, they've been making giant machinery for decades, but they're not really popular in the USA. So what that translates to me is they're delivering good quality, but the American market, the North American market, isn't adopting it. Meaning that they're going to be dropping their price down, delivering immense value. And if you don't plan on holding on to this machine for the next 25 or 30 years and retiring with it, who cares about the name brand? You guys, as long as you can use it, get your value out of it, and then sell it later on, you're probably in a good state. I mean, you got to look at the overall package of this. So let's check out the Hyundai Mini Excavator right now, and maybe it'll be right for you guys.
So Hyundai R35 is 3.5 metric ton excavator. Smaller on the side of the excavators.
Okay.
Yanmar diesel engine.
A Yanmar?
Yeah, Yanmar.
Okay. We've got cast iron hinge points. I noticed that right away.
Yeah, you got cast
So
iron
they
hinge
beefed
points.
up the hinge points. So that's something that, as you look at the machine, right here, looks like we've got cast iron on this end as well.
You do? Yep.
So we've got, so it looks like Hyundai has addressed some of the kind of the fault points on a lot of mini excavators, which is right there, and made improvements.
Yes, they have it. And yes, they have.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Is this third valve function standard on a mini
Yes, it
excavator?
is. Kubotas. Yep.
So-
and it is on this.
Not on all machines, though.
No.
So if you guys are out there, especially if you're looking at an older used machine, you're not always going to have a third arm function available. Like, they don't always have them plumbed down. It's nice to have that option there. The control stick in the cab will allow you to control an implement. Now they've got an Encon on here,
We do, yes.
right? And you guys sell Encon.
Yes, we do.
Is this Encon for this unit? Is that about as small as they go?
This is about as small as they go, yes.
Okay.
And they go all the way up to the big excavators, 140s, 160s.
You have the integrated grapple on
We
it.
do, yeah.
Okay, so you guys can see that allows you to grab pipe, grab materials, flip the bucket out of the way, open that up, grab your pipe, put that into the trench, then you can carve and shape your trench. And Encon's been a player in the game for a long time,
A
hasn't it?
long time, yes.
Right. A lot of guys, it's almost become one of the standards that a lot of companies are competing against.
Yeah, it's an amazing machine. The grading bar on it's amazing too.
Oh,
The
yeah.
grading bar is unbelievable, what you can do with that and all the different tools. It's got a nice grapple. It's easy to change things out. It's got a hydraulic quick hitch on it. Rotates 360 degrees to infinity.
You know, roto tilt is becoming almost one of the typical things that you got to add to an excavator nowadays, because it then takes an excavator and makes it almost the ability to do what multiple machines can do.
Yep.
Right? So what's your name?
Andy Mulder.
Andy just bought is first Encon, right?
Yep.
And so one of the tricks to learning how to use it, because there is a learning curve with a tilt rotator,
Right.
is to, you explain it better than I did.
The best way to learn and get better at it is to fill the bucket with stone and spin it around without spilling the stone out of the bucket. So you literally take the bucket, curl it up, and then spin it around and keep the bucket from falling out. It sounds a lot easier than it is.
After you get through the learning curve, you're never going to be able to go back.
That's right. I already can feel that. I mean, there's things that I'm practicing with and thinking like, why would I ever not have this? I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be a game changer for us.
And
for
that's
sure.
why over in Europe, 90% of all excavators have a tilt rotator on them. I mean, that's a wild stat to think that 90% of 9 out of every 10 excavators has one of those on the end of it, because you're basically so much less fatigue on the machine.
That's right.
Because you're not moving the machine to do something. You can keep the machine static and still have the machine do multi-functions.
Exactly.
Where before you'd have to literally change the pitch and angle of your piece of equipment to transfer that angle to the bucket.
Right.
Now you do it all right from wherever you're at. You're planted, and then
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
We do a lot of like a hardscape work, and there's so many times when we're doing a job where I need to get the machine level to dig level, and that's where I think that's going to save me a ton of time and fatigue in the machine and wear and tear. And so, yeah.
So let's go take a look closer at this Hyundai. Parts availability is key. I don't care if you run CAT, I don't care what you run, they all break down. Every single one of these pieces of equipment will break down, and it's how fast you can gain parts. So how fast can you get parts for this?
We stock parts at all 3 locations around Chicago. Call us, we'll get it to you as soon as you can drive down to the store.
Okay, so, and remember you guys, I'm with Martin Implements. If it wasn't for these guys bringing me out here to do this, I couldn't bring you this video. So if you're in this area, support the people that help bring you this content. That's a big thing, man. We're a team. And when I start working with somebody, I want to make sure that you guys know who I'm working with. Tell me a little bit more about this piece of equipment though. Is there anything I should know about this one? Any design changes and improvements that they've done?
They do a pretty good job of keeping all the filters nice and easy to access. There's the oil filter, here's the oil dipstick, fuel water separator bowl, fuel filters. That's all right here. It's easy to change.
Counterweight is on the outside of the equipment.
You got an additional counterweight here.
And the zero swing radius, does that counterweight stick over the tracks?
This does. If you took it off, it'd be at 0.
Okay,
So it's gonna swing out about 4 inches.
So, and here's the good and bad with that. That's not going to hurt your machine if you rub it. It's going to look terrible, but it's going to hurt whatever you rub it against. So if you're in a tight spot and you rub it against a house or building, that building's going to suffer, isn't it? Yep. So just make sure your operator's conscientious that this is not technically a true zero swing at that point, is it?
It is not. It's a low tail swing, if you will.
Okay. Good to know.
Not a true zero unless you take that off.
A true zero swing, tail swing, will have the backside of the machine stay within the radius of the tracks. Price point for this piece of equipment?
This one priced for the cab, around 50.
50? Okay, 50G for this machine. Not with the Encon.
No.
Just the actual
Just
piece
the
of
machine.
equipment.
The bigger units will run Cummins engines and the wheel loaders and the larger excavators.
So you offer the wheel loaders and okay.
Yes, yep, full line.
Okay.
All the machines are 3-year, 3,000 hour warranty, full machine.
Every machine.
Yep. And then
Every machine Hyundai makes.
except for the rollers. Rollers, I believe, are only
Okay,
2
so
year.
that's tied with Wacker Newson for the best warranty in the industry.
Yeah. Other nice thing is you can put a geofence around it, which if you park it on a job for the winter or in the summer, big project, whatever, you put the geofence around it. If that machine leaves that area, you get an alert.
Oh, I I wish I had geofencing on some of my equipment. All right, I gotta tell you a story. I had a dump truck driver, hired him to drive truck, kept my truck in my yard, didn't have security cameras on it. This was before all this geofencing stuff. Come back, check my odometer one day, and I'm like, you know, when we parked this, it had 200 miles less than it did on Monday. And we didn't work this weekend. How did my dump truck get 200 miles on it over the weekend? And then I start to go, so I go to my truck driver, so how was your weekend? And he's like, oh, good, I went up and seen my folks up north at the cabin. And I'm like, oh, how far away is that? You know, just carrying on conversation. He's like, they're just like 100 miles up north. And I'm like, 100 miles one way. He freaking drove my dump truck up to see his parents up to the cabin. It happens. We still got 2 pieces of equipment left. Well, Martin Implements sells a lot more than that, but we still got 2 pieces here that we can take a look at, and that's the Toros. The TXL 2000 and the TX 1000. Big Daddy and little sister, right?
Yes.
Look at that. All right, so this is where I know a lot about at least the TXL 2000. These guys have safety protocols built into the machine so that as you boom out, if it senses that something is wrong, it's going to stop you from letting your operator tip the machine over, wreck your piece of equipment, and also hurt themselves. All right, there's a lot of differences between the TXL 1000 and its bigger brother, the TXL 2000, just besides the number. The TXL 1000 is a static arm design, where the TXL 2000 has a telescoping boom. The TXL 1000 will allow you to fit into narrow gates and smaller entryways. Its bigger brother, the TXL 2000, there's no way that this is possible. In fact, a lot of people that have actually had hands-on time with the TXL 2000 often describe it as a ride-on or a stand-on skid steer. It's that big, it's that massive. The TXL 2000 is designed to lift technically 2,000 pounds. Now, I personally have lifted a lot more than that. Toro doesn't like me to say that I've done that, but I have. In fact, the TXL 2000 that you see right here with these telescoping boom arms is really just a stand-on skid steer, and a lot of people will ask, well, why would I care about having a stand-on skid steer and not just buy a skid steer? Here's the thing, after actually using one of these for a season, it was really nice to have this out on a job site, to be able to jump up on that piece of equipment, get something done fast, and then jump off and get back to work. That may seem like a little point, but productivity with this machine was incredible. It also has an amazing capability to do grading and to run full-sized skid steer attachments. The TXL 2000 and the TXL 1000 are night and day difference, even though they're made by the same company. They have different functions that will apply differently on everybody's job site. So make sure you guys get some hands-on time with both before you pull the trigger on one over the other. All right, you guys, let's talk about what the TXL 1000 versus the TXL 2000 actually means. The TXL 1000 in the Toro Dingo lineup is designed to lift up to 1,000 pounds of weight. The TXL 2000 is designed to handle up to 2,000 pounds of weight, but it also offers an extended boom that you can deliver material even further out. They're actually the only unit on the market that can do that to date. Now, let's move on to the fin bark blower. This thing is a material moving beast. Bark blower. We need to add the bark blower.
We need to add the bark blower.
Tell me about this, because I know nothing about a bark blower.
This is a fin bark blower. It's a material transfer device. You can install mulch with it.
Okay.
You can install pea gravel, topsoil. It has a 5-yard hopper.
So this will actually, is this a two-man or a one-man operation?
This is a minimum of 2 men,
Okay.
3 depending upon the job.
And so you can reel the hose out, you can get it into a remote location, you don't have to actually trailer the unit
Right.
in. How much hose?
You can run 250 foot of hose.
Crap.
You can run it 5 stories tall or up a slope, 5 stories tall, down a slope, around corners. I've seen people go over buildings into atriums in the middle of like a retirement community where they couldn't get mulch inside the community. So they threw the hose over the building and they're mulching inside the building. You're gonna, with 2 to 3 men, you're gonna install roughly around 15 to 20 yards of mulch per hour. So, on average,
We're talking about a full semi-truckload of mulch.
Yeah,
a full
1.5.
semi-truckload of mulch.
yeah, if you're 80 yard semi-load, yeah.
Well, I'm not talking one of those semis. I'm talking about one of mine. Mine hold 15 to 20 yards. So.
We're an hour
Yeah.
with 2 to 3 guys.
And you're telling me we can go 250 feet away from where we park. What do you have to use to tow this?
Just a regular
3/4 ton?
3/4 ton. It's about 8,000 pounds. You got a tandem axle trailer.
How much does a unit like this go for?
About $99,000.
About 100 G for this unit. What kind of engine does it run off?
It's running a 65 horse Cummins.
Cummins? I like Cummins. It's one of my favorite engines.
Yes.
If you work at Cummins and you ever see me, please stop and say hi, because no matter what you do it right. I just love Cummins.
No, well, you would use a skid loader to load it.
Skid loader, so you just feed it over the side.
You'd feed it over the side. You can load it either side. 5 yard capacity. It's got a real nice tarp, so you can load it at the shop and highway it.
So you got a live floor. This is a live floor system. So if you guys don't know it, it's a live floor system. So you got a live floor system. You can control your floor. Your engine's over here. Forward, reverse. I'm gonna guess this has a reverse function on the floor too?
It does. It auto reverse. So if you get a piece of pallet wood stuck in the airlock, it'll automatically reverse itself.
Automatically. What if you don't want it to reverse itself? Can you manually reverse it?
Yes.
Is what I'm saying? All right, you guys. Well, we covered a lot of ground today, and if you've operated any of the equipment that you've seen in this video, please comment down below with your input. Would love to hear good, bad, or in between what you thought of the equipment that you've seen in today's video. And a big thanks goes out to my friends from Martin Implements, because without their help, honestly, this video would not have been possible. They helped me get all the way out to Illinois and sponsor this video so that I could show you some of these latest and greatest in tools and heavy gear and equipment. So thanks, guys, Martin Implements. God bless you guys, and do me a favor and check out these videos right here. God bless. Go get them, you guys.